I want to try to make a point today about you. Try and point you in the direction of you. That which sees you, or what you perceive to be you, is you. What you perceive to be you are the thoughts that you think and the opinions that you have. These are just opinions and thoughts. They are nothing more or less. You are the observer. How does one become aware of who you are? Not by looking at for a definition, that is for sure, but by being observant. That is the only way. Everything is simply what it is. What does that mean? It means everything defines itself by its behavior. As I look at most spiritual groups, and I have noticed that many of them have failed in many different ways, because a funny thing happened on the way to enlightenment. Ignorance. One of the things that usually happens in these things is that we, in our desire to know exactly what is, we still judge and blame others. That is as wrong as anything else. When I say wrong, it is as off the path as anything else. I know what to do is not the answer. Is knowing you that is the answer. And everything else changes. You kind of put this in this light and in this manner. I am that never changes. Which means then that I cannot be the mind, because the mind always changes. Pay attention. One minute you're thinking about this, the next minute you're thinking about something else, the next minute you're thinking about something else. I have always been. I will always be. The same, never different. Where is that in you? Where is that within you? It is the eternal moment now. Someone once said, don't remember who it is, don't care. What matters is that it's true. If you sit by the river long enough, everything passes before you. What that is a description of activity in front of the never-changing self. What passes by, what floats by in the river, is not what I am, the river of the mind. It is not what I am, it was not what I will ever be. It is what passes before me. It is that truth that frees me. We want so badly to be whatever it is we want. You can only be what you are. And what are you? I can do this. I can shrug my shoulders in terms of the definition of what you are. There is no definition. To define simply lies about the truth. That is why definitions of self are lies that we play with. I'm beautiful. It's ridiculous. Only if I'm ugly is real. Can being beautiful be real? They're just things that pass in the river. They're just definitions that can never be true. What is beautiful? I think all we have is isness. Isness. It's just what it is. It is not definable. It is my forever presence. Forever presence, wherever I am. We can talk of infinite realities. Let's look at how the mind works. I want to go to one of those realities. Well, you have to die to do that. Hey, you got to do that, so there's no need to hurry. You got to die. The realities, if you are still, if the mind is still, the realities are in the river of time and in the river of being. And they will all pass before you. There's nowhere to go. Just be. Be what? Be still. Be quiet. Anything that you can talk about is a reflection. It's not it. You look in the mirror, it is a reflection. It's not you. It's a reflection. If you look at it, it's just the reverse of what it really is. Hold up right hand in the mirror. Left hand comes up. What you see in the reflection of your mind is you holding up your right hand and your left hand comes up. It is the design of physical reality. If you saw the world exactly as it is, everyone and everything in it would be upside down. Because that's the way it is. But your mind, your brain, the mechanism that identifies the reality turns it over for the sake of convenience. Wouldn't want to confuse you. See, the mechanism for the reality is in your brain. The mechanism for the reality, or for the truth, is in your being. Is in that moment when you sit quietly and things happen. The first time I saw anger, I was just sitting there. And there were some people in the next room. And I saw flashes of deep red on the wall. What is that? It was anger. How did I see it? Because in that moment, I was absolutely quiet. There was nothing going on. The river was passing. And there it was. Wow. Not trying, but allowing. Just allowing it to be. When that happens, when your moment comes or has come, the thing is that you remain still. To come here or to hear is to disturb or to interject yourself into that. To be still. For you, in that first time, that first moment, it's exciting. Wow! Do you know what just happened? The other person says, no, because they weren't involved with you, so they didn't see it. You now want to run and tell it on the mountain. Because now, if I were to ask you the question, what's happening now, it'd be like, what happened to it? Well, what happened to it was nothing. You got overly excited. You made the excitement your focus. You aren't focused where it is. Say, I see auras. I don't see no damn aura. That's because you're not looking in the right place. People see auras because in that moment, they're not talking. They're not involved in something that is something else. So what is there reveals itself. What has always been there reveals itself. In order to maintain it, the same thing that allows you to see it allows you to maintain it. You ever look at you ever wonder why it is so difficult for, if you watch sports, it is so difficult for the champion to repeat unless they're a group of exceptional people? The reason why it's so difficult for them to repeat is that they get full of themselves. They get, oh man, me, I'm second best. That's what happens because they've lost focus. They've lost focus on what brought them there. Question I hear on sports radio and TV, what happened to the bears? They lost focus. You have to focus on the technique, the basis of whatever it is that you're doing. And once you focus on the basis of it, everything else goes away. And the doing happens because you are stabilized. When you're stabilized, the happening happens. Remember, it is a happening and not a doing. A happening. You have to relax and let go.
Talking about meditation, aren't you?
Living meditation, yes. Every day. Every day. This is what the sitting meditation teaches you. It teaches you how to live. And we might say, how do I live? Meditatively. You live in meditation. That point where you are the observer. So yes, it is meditation in action. It is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is meditation in action. Yoga, meditation in action, in activity. This is why so many times I will say, just be quiet. Just stop talking. I don't mean stop talking to you, the guy next to you. I mean, shut up inside. Yak, 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 yak. I'm going to do this. I'm going to behave like this. I'm going to have a question. Do you ever see the little kid in school who always had the question, who knew what the answer was? But they had a question because somebody told them it's important to ask questions. Well, it's only important to ask questions when you have a question. It is not okay to make up a question. Answers come. Answers are there. They're always there. There are only answers when you have the right question. To be quiet, to be silent, and know. There are so many things that our life depends upon. Not really, but in our own minds. My life depends upon what it seems to me is my telephone. As I look around, that's all I see. God. My life depends on whether I have a mate or not. My life depends upon whether I'm cutesy or handsome or whatever all that crap is. Rarely does my life depend upon content of character. It used to when I was a kid. It was important to be honest. I could get the Boy Scout creed, thrifty, courteous, kind, and all that. And as we grow older, those things, content of character, become meaningless. But we make up all manner of things about ourselves. These are things that I can't live without. I can't live without poor me. Poor me. And poor me is something that many of us live with, poor self-image. Because this gives us some kind of power. Someone responds to that. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, shut up. Somebody gives us attention. That is what we are looking for. No. Content of your character. I've come in contact with many a person. Many a person has passed through here. Few stay. One of the things I do is let you know when you're pretending to be something you're not. I'm not trying to put you out there on Front Street, as it says. I'm just trying to guide and say, those are the right words, but your attitude sucks. And if your attitude is not good, that is what you are sending forth. That is what you are creating. That is what you're coming in contact with other people with. If you don't understand, you have to admit that. Accept that I don't understand. Because now, I can know. It's as simple as that. It's the law of knowing, not knowing. Not knowing is the law of knowing.
Not opposite.
Yeah. But when you know, you get in your own way. You get in your own way. It is most difficult to teach someone who knows. It's impossible, actually. They think they know, and the moment they think they know, they stop learning. They stop. Because now I want to run it. Well, I'm not running it. Or that person sitting there who knows is not running it. They're just saying, here's the way. That's not it. But if you want to take that journey, go ahead. If you take that journey, you're going to find somewhere down the road there's a head chopper. It's okay. Go ahead. But that one chop of the head, and you go, oh no. Well, if that's what it took. That's what it took. So the difficulty becomes when you think you know, you set up a competition with what does know. It's not about competition. If you have a company and all the departments of that company are in conflict with each other because each part of that company has a goal. Now someone sitting at the top up there has to know what the common goal is and has to express that common goal to the various departments so that those departments work together to accomplish the common goal of the company, not just the goal of that particular department. Not just that. Sometimes the individual goal becomes a problem. Even though all the intention and all that is for us. No, it's for you. So we have to be very, very careful in all the idea basis that we carry. And I say idea basis because everything that comes out, even though when it comes in may be pure as it is filtered through whatever is in there is going to come out all. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. You know how if you have a basic insecurity, isn't it funny how everything is about you? Everything is about you. I'm reminded of the old Freudian statement about guys smoking cigars. And somebody else says, well, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. If you get my drift. It's just a cigar. If you are insecure, someone walking past you that you know and didn't say something to you, why'd they ignore me? Why? Maybe they had something else on their mind. Maybe they didn't even see you. Or maybe they saw you, but something else was more important to them in that moment. And when you are involved in the garbage that flows down through the river of insecurity, then it becomes about you. At any point in time, you can look over and see someone else. They are not you. You will find, you may think, actually, one may think, that coming to this place of joy and caring and all that changes the world. It only changes your world. It doesn't change the world of the people around you. They still carry their crap. Supposing in some way, and I've heard it said from some of you, and you've said it in ways that you want to teach. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to teach and have people close to you? It's almost impossible. Because they are coming with their insecurities. And if you come to the point that you want to teach this, there are ways that you have to be, there are things that you have to do. They're not going to understand. And I realize the question has come many, many times about them. What about them? They behave like this, they behave like that. There's nothing you or I can do about that. They have to do something about that. They're going to assume on many occasions that your behavior has something to do with them, and your behavior will have absolutely nothing to do with them. So you will have to decide. Do you just want to be with that and not get involved in it? Let them drive themselves nuts? Or do you not want to be? That is a decision that each individual must make, whether you would want this path or not. It is difficult. Be still. Be yourself. Be yourself. Your mind and your words are not yourself. Your reactions are not yourself. They are this really small, infinitesimal part of you. Part of you. Part of you. It is the grain of sand in the ocean. You are the ocean. Don't allow that grain of sand to become the whole of what you are. It can never be but for the sake of perception. The sake of your perception. It will be. If that's what you focus on. When you hit that space of who you are, you are fine with the quiet, because everything happens within the quiet. Everything happens in the quiet. When we are still, things happen. We must allow those things to be. We must allow this to be the course of our life. The stillness. Now don't try and be still. Do the things that it takes to become still. You don't walk into a weight room and try to be strong. No, you walk in there and do the things that it takes to come to that point where you identify strength. You do the things that it takes to get you there. That's why I've said to you, feel. It's okay to feel. Don't get bent out of shape over it. Feel. Don't allow it to blind you. Just feel. Stop saying what it is and feel. Let it wash clean. Jumping out of an airplane without a chute does not kill you. It's the sudden stop at the end that does the damage. That sudden feeling is the fall from the plane. Negative feeling is the sudden stop. Negative feeling, that feeling exists because of the tension you hold in your body. You're making that movement, that flow of energy squeeze itself through a narrow passageway, and that hurts. So if you relax and feel, you'll be okay. Feel. Stop resisting feeling. The degree to which you can feel pain is the same degree to which you can feel joy. So when you shut off one, you're shutting off the other. Look to yourself for the answers. We may be talking about you. I don't know, did I tell you about the 3 ladies that died? 3 ladies died and they ended up before St. Peter. And he says, okay, you ladies can come in, but we got a lot of ducks here. Don't step on the ducks. Well, you know how we get to be. We start talking, and one old lady stepped on a duck. Immediately, St. Peter came with the ugliest man she had ever seen in her life and handcuffed him to her. Said, now you got to spend eternity. Okay. So they go on and they're talking, and the next lady steps on a duck. Here comes St. Peter with another ugly guy. Spend the rest of eternity together. So she goes, boy, I'm not stepping on any ducks, I'll tell you that. He shows up with the handsomest man she's ever seen. And he handcuffs her to him. And she looks at him and says, I don't know what I did to deserve you. And he said, I don't know about you, lady, but I stepped on a duck. Sometimes it's you. So you quite often, most often, it's me. It's you. Responsibility for our behavior. I know we look at it, they did this, they did that, they did the other, they are doing this to me, they are doing that to me, they are doing the other to me. Well, perhaps they are. More than likely, it's you. More than likely. And even if it's not, you are the only one that can do something about what's going on in you. You are the only one that can deal with that. So still leave them alone and come to yourself and understand, why is it I am behaving in this way? Why is that? Because you're not still is the answer. You cannot erase your experiences from your being. But you can certainly learn to allow them to be openly a part of who you are. And just let that flow as energy. Let it flow. I can do something about my own behavior. When I exist in the void, my own behavior is going to be different. But to those around me, it's going to be the same. They know you, see. They have never known you, but they know you. So they're going to put a label on you. Label, 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 label. When you do X, that's what they see. They see you doing Y. Even though your base is different. That's why you have to know. You must know who you are. I don't mean assume. I don't mean pretend. I mean, you must truly know. And then you decide, is this where I really want to be? Okay. Well, if I have to go be with the family, with Uncle Fred the molester, and these people who've been fighting all my life for at holidays. If I have to go and be there, then I'll go. And I'll be at peace with who I am. Perhaps it will affect someone else. Perhaps. Perhaps not. And even if it doesn't, so what? That's on them, not on you. Relax. Come to understand you. Hear me again. Not the mind. No. You, the observer. That one that you have been ever since you have been. All the way back. I remember, I don't know how old I was, but I wore white high-top shoes with the little hard bottoms. You know, and you walk and it's like plap, 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 plap. These were the greatest shoes imaginable. I loved these shoes, and I wanted to wear my shoes. We didn't have indoor plumbing. So we had a hydrant off the back porch there. And I used to love to drink from the hydrant. And my grandmother said, okay, you can wear your shoes, but you better not get them dirty. Oh, man. Well, where this hydrant was, it dripped constantly, so there was a mud puddle. And as I put my head under to take a sip of water, I fell. Head first, with enough forethought to keep my legs bent back like that so that those white shoes did not get in that mud. Covered from mud from knee to head. Well, the point is, I was me then. I am me now. No different. No different. That which is me. No different. Even before that, I don't know, I think we lived on Cottage Grove. And I remember looking at my cousin one day and determining, you know, he should fall down the stairs. I was me then. I am me now. Did you do that? I didn't do that. That consciousness. I'm trying to point you to a point that says, where you remember, I have always been me. Not the thought. I have always been me. The child does not have all the word thoughts, but is still that person. This is where you look. Do not look to identify, to label, that is, by label. Accept that being. Accept that being. being. Then all things will come before you. All things will pass. It's okay. Don't look for sympathy or empathy or anything else from anyone else. It's all on you. It's on you, as it's all on me. The world will rest upon me. That is, I have to take my responsibility as I go through it. I have to take my responsibility as I move through it. I have to take responsibility for my life, where I am at my life at this moment, and for every moment that brought me to where I am. It's all on me. Doesn't matter what someone else did to me. That was only stimuli for me to show myself as I am. I was watching a football game the other day, and it started some thinking. I looked at these guys. Here's a guy, 270 pounds, running down the field like a deer, like a large deer. I mean, he was moving so smoothly and so fast. And I thought, I used to be fast, but not like that. And it took me back to some thoughts about my life. I wanted to be a high jumper on the track team. There's only one problem. I can only jump about that high. Wow. But then at that time, the world's record was only about that high. They weren't jumping 7 feet. Okay? Those things, those experiences, those failures shaped something that I was. I could only jump this high in the high jump, but I won the state as a long jumper. Politically correct, because in my day it was called the broad jump.
Put a bunch of women together. Sorry.
The other side was jumping.
So there was a success on that end, and there was a failure on this end. These are all things that shape these ideas and these structures. These are all shapes to the question asked before coming into physical existence. The answer comes later. But this is the question. Remember, it's not a verbal question. It's an action question. To see who you are. Maybe even to see that you are. It's all about you. It's all about coming to understand who you are. It's about seeing the you and focusing on what is you. Focusing on what is you. Or becoming, or allowing yourself to be, and allowing it to be okay. Allowing it to be okay. You see this within minority groups. That is, Black people, brown people, women. The desire that someone else accept you, or some other idea structure accept you. Once you see, so do I really want to be accepted by a gang of idiots? Is that what I really want? I don't think so. Just be. Allow energy to move. Don't get into the words. Don't get into the things that you have to say about it. I know. You probably don't understand what that means or how that's valuable, because you have to be there. You got to be there to understand its value. But you've trusted me so far. Trust me a little bit longer. Okay. Before I end this, do you have any question about what I've said? About what I said? Yes, Paul.
You touched on it today, but something that was sort of has been in my consciousness lately about the nature of the universe and the infinite size of the universe. And would it be accurate to say that there's as many universes as there are consciousness or people? Because everyone has their own universe, and you create your own, and you live in a different universe than everybody else, as we do than everybody else.
Yes.
Would that be a fair way to look at it?
That's a fair way of looking at it. There's more, but that's a fair way. There's more because there's a consciousness that is not that's not, I'm going to use the word personable, meaning having people as its dominant side, but it's more. And you can't really define that way. So yeah, it's every person and every aspect of every person. We have, see, every thought that you think takes on a life of its own. So at every moment,
It's a different universe created.
yeah, and on and on. So it's weird, but yeah, if that makes any sense.
Isn't then the human body a microsystem that represents the macro system?
Yes.
And the universe is really right here.
You betcha.
And that's all there is. And as you go down within you, all the atoms have more and more parts in them, and they find parts in those parts, and it's infinite.
Yeah.
In that way as well.
Yeah. And they not only are a part of what makes this universe, but all universes is how it's there and it's not there.
It's sort of like a DNA of God.
Yes, it's everywhere. So, yes, that is true. So you don't have to go anywhere. It's like the same thing for studying space. You're in it. You don't have to go anywhere to it. It's right there. Okay, it's right here. Yes, it is a microcosm of the whole. Yes. That's why studying you is all that's important. Yes, ma'am.
You had said, get to know yourself and study you. But sometimes when a person does that, you see things that are really like criminally wrong and wicked. Not just, oops, I stepped on that kid's tail, but I say, you see stuff that's scary. And then you want to stop.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, yeah, you can stop the stuff, but then you got to let it be okay. I would hate to tell you some of the things I've done in my life. Talk about scary. And I'm not altogether sane. Really. You know, none of us are. And that's okay. Because that part of us, that which we are, is. All those little parts that can be scary are just tiny little parts. And by relating to the large part, that's what saves us. Because in it there's no insanity. There's none of the really bad stuff. I mean, I think of the things that I have done to make people tell me what I wanted to know. And people say they won't, but they will. Trust me, they'll tell it. No, yeah, you give them a chance. You give them the right chance. You give them, if you ask them the right question. If you ask them, oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie your legs together, lie you on your stomach, wrap the wire from the rope around your balls, run it up to your hands, and run it around your neck. And I'm just going to watch you. Now, would you rather that? Because as you get tired, your legs are going to come down, the wire is going to tighten, and pretty soon, so very slowly, you're going to castrate yourself. Would you rather tell me what I ask you? Or would you rather have me ask the question this way? They'll tell you. These are not sane ways of asking questions.
Little understatement.
But these are some of the things that are within us, within some of us.
They have been.
Huh?
They have been.
Yeah. So it's better to come to that, you accept, yeah, okay, wait a minute, because if I deny this, it's going to forever haunt me. But if I accept all of who I am, that's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem, so it's okay. It's all right. Look at it. See it for what it is, because it's a reality. It's a truth. Move on. Move on. Those things are back there because they've been suppressed in a way. They've been suppressed into the medium that truly is what you are. That truly is what you are. So by coming past that, you're going to come to what you really are. And trust me on this one, if there was hope for me, there's hope for anyone. There's hope for anyone. All right. I'd like to thank you for your time. Enjoy.